Welcome to How We Heard It, the podcast about music, pop culture, movies, and more, with your hosts Wayne Bledsoe and Chuck Campbell.
Good day, mates. This is Chuck Campbell with
Wayne Bledsoe and
John Baker.
Yeah. This morning got up and there was Australia listening to us, so I had to give them a little nod. I don't know if I've already done them or not, but
I don't remember you saying that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Hello, Australia.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate that. Today we're going to do songs for the dead of winter, which we talked about it a little bit in terms of, are these all going to be like really, really massively depressing songs? Because I can't imagine people would want to just hear that for a whole show. So I got some depressing songs, but I've got some with a little more hope or humor or optimism in them as well. And what was your guideline? What did you think? Just anything that reminds you of winter? Mine aren't, we were just talking about this. Mine aren't literally all about winter. They just have a winter vibe to them one way or the other.
Mine mostly are actually about winter, but not specific. They're all things about being in winter, but appreciating something else sometimes.
Okay.
But there's some cold ones and there's some depressing ones.
Okay.
And most winter songs do sound pretty depressing.
Yeah, but we'll keep it light. We're happy guys. We're not here to bring you down.
We're happy.
We're happy.
Let's be happy, Chuck.
John, you're not smiling big enough.
Here's a song that's guaranteed you bring you right down.
It's called
Don't Let It Bring You Down.
Yeah, I love that. That's one of my favorite introductions.
Sort of starts kind of slow and then just fizzles out altogether.
Well, John, I think
That's
you
Neil
and I
Young.
kind of went with more of a not literal winter songs, just songs that either we enjoy in winter or that just sort of feel like winter for whatever reason.
Yeah.
All right.
They're fairly subjective and they're going to take some explaining, but I think that's
Okay.
what we're here to do.
All right. Explain away. Well, where are we going to start here? Wayne, you want to start?
Well, I'll start with a song
Little list there.
that has the line "In the Dead of Winter" in it.
Okay.
It's called "Hot Buttered Rum" by the band Red Clay Ramblers. I think it was written by Tommy Thompson. I'm not positive who actually wrote it, but Mary Chapin Carpenter kind of popularized it. She re-recorded it years afterwards.
Okay.
And it's got the line is, "In the dead of winter, when the silent snowbirds come, you're my sweet maple sugar honey, hot buttered rum."
All right.
It's very sweet, but it's got all these great lines in it that like all the things I hate about winter. It talks about the blackened bones of trees.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a thing I hate most, I think, is no leaves on the trees.
Well, when we did fall songs, I talked about how much I hate winter.
Yeah.
And I start hating it and dreading it in August. But
When it's at its hottest.
Yeah, it's just like it's on my mind from August, and you just inch your way into winter. But when January rolls around, it's like, all right, we're here. We're at the summit of winter awfulness, and now we can look forward. So usually by January, or at least early February, I feel pretty good because it's like
really
spring's around the corner and longer days and warmer temperatures and daffodils and crocus and spring peeper frogs and all that stuff and the little budding trees and red buds. So,
Well, and I really do hold that winter should really suck.
yeah.
Because I think spring is meant to feel like a miracle.
Yeah.
And if winter doesn't suck really hard, then spring's kind of
Right.
like, eh.
Yeah, I got it. That's how it felt in Florida.
You need contrasting material.
Yeah, in Florida, winter was just not hard enough, so spring was just kind of like, okay,
Back to hot.
But and the good thing about Tennessee is winter doesn't last like 4 or 5 months.
The climate here in East Tennessee sells the place.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
4 equal seasons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's,
but we're not trying to sell the place.
But
no, don't move
we're
out.
full. Please don't move here. We have enough. We're at capacity. But with me, it's like February just seems to take forever.
February, okay.
You get through. I mean, you have to plan for December, for Christmas and everything, and then January is a long month.
It is.
I wrote a song called "The January That Would Never End."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like the calendar page just wouldn't change. And by January 45th, by January 45, we awaited our Valentines, but they never came.
But to me, February, even though it's the shortest month, seems like the longest month. It just seems
But by the end of February, you start getting like what Chuck says.
Yeah.
The crocuses are coming up.
Yep.
The things are starting to bloom.
Yeah.
You start going, it's around the corner.
Sometimes it does, but sometimes we get our biggest snow
In April.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten some big ones, and I remember April Fool's Day when we had a huge snow.
Oh yeah, it
I
happens.
don't know if I was living here then. I don't remember.
I don't remember. I
snow
was
in April here.
I know I worked because I went and interviewed the actor Ben Johnson in person, who was down at a hotel for an event.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it was like I had to trudge through the snow on April 1st.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But but anyway,
Well, the first thing I thought of when you told me the thing, and I'm just surprised, the first thing that popped in my head was California Dreaming.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's a perfect winter song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then they talk about it. All the leaves are brown.
Yeah.
And the sky is gray.
Yeah.
And it gets dark too early, and I'm cold.
Yeah.
It's the darkness. And by February, it's getting dark later and later.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah. That is a positive.
Yeah.
I mean, right now it's depressing because every week when we come here,
It's dark.
it's darker when we pull in,
Yep.
Yeah.
and that won't change until a couple months.
But it's always
couple-
darkest
well, a couple
before the
weeks.
dawn. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, but I always take heart from the winter solstice because I'm thinking, all right,
Yeah.
well, from here on out, the days
Yep.
are getting longer.
Yeah.
At least we're headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
Well, the first song that came to mind when this came up for me was a Gordon Lightfoot song from 1971 called 10 Degrees and Getting Colder,
Okay.
which has one of my favorite opening lines. He was standing by the highway holding a sign that just said mother.
What does that mean?
Well, he was hitchhiking, and he wants to get home to mother.
Oh, okay.
And it's like,
Not just looking for mother.
Who's going toward mother?
yeah, I mean, you know,
I need a ride.
who could pass up this poor guy in the freezing cold when he's got a sign that just says mother?
Right.
That's a
He's
good
not holding a machete or something.
No. No, but it's a sad song. It's about, it may be all metaphorical, but it was 10 degrees and getting colder at Boulder Dam that day.
Well, I'm going to throw out one that probably surprise you guys, but
What?
I don't think it gets any more depressing than Nick Drake's Black Eyed Dog.
That's depressing.
That was one of his last songs. He recorded it in 74 and died in 74 of
Yep.
an overdose, whether it was intentional or not. He had depression. He was, 26 years old when he died. Black Eyed Dog is just a stark acoustic guitar,
Yeah.
and it's about seeing a black-eyed dog, I guess, at his door. And it represents, that's symbolic of like maybe depression or even death or something like that.
I think Winston Churchill used that line about depression.
Oh, okay.
Black dog, too.
Okay. Well, I
He
love
didn't say
black dogs.
black-eyed, but he was black.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not sure if I've mentioned this in here before, but I read Joe Boyd's autobiography, who was Nick Drake's producer. And in the first couple albums, they'd set dates and times for sessions, and Nick would come in and they'd have drums and orchestration and all of that. But by the end of when he was doing Black Eyed Dog and those last things, they would hope that he would come in and
right.
just
It was
be
just
in
sort
the
of an
studio, and he
informal-
would just kind of wander in and sit down and pull out his guitar and start playing, and they'd have to get mics
Right.
in front of him because that's all you were going to get out of him.
right.
And he'd just play a couple songs and pack up and leave and not say a word to anybody.
Yeah.
I think that song wasn't actually released till 79, though. I guess several years lapsed between him recording it. And
I think that was, it was the
It was a posthumous.
Time of No
Yeah.
Reply and that, I think, were like the last things that came out. Time of No Reply is my favorite Nick Drake
That's
song.
beautiful.
Well, another grim, I want to get the grimmest of the grim out of the way, I think. We've mentioned this song a couple of times. It's always with the assumption that everyone's heard it and all that. But Bonnie Raitt's I Can't Make You Love Me If You Don't.
Yeah.
From 1991. We usually breeze through it. And I thought, that was long enough ago, and that we got enough young people who listen, and some people who just haven't heard it in a long time. And if you haven't heard it in a long time, if you've never heard it, you should go. It's absolutely heartbreaking. She's a woman who loves someone who just doesn't love her back, and she wants one last night with him, and then she's going to let him go, and she just wants him to hold her, and her performance is devastating.
Oh, yeah.
And so Bonnie Raitt, I Can't Make You Love Me If You Don't,
Yeah.
which is, just heartbreaking, just grasping the reality of it and letting someone go.
Kind of reminds me of that Amy Mann song, You Never Loved Me,
Yeah.
from, I guess that's Mental Illness. That's her newest one. Not her newest one, but anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think about Dar Williams. I don't think I've ever talked about Dar Williams before, but she's
I don't think so.
She's a really good
remember her.
singer-songwriter. And she's got a song called February. It just gets, as it goes on, it's just more and more depressing. And it's
Yeah.
like they're like stuck in the winter, and it's snowing them in, and their relationship is falling apart.
Right.
And it's so claustrophobic
Yeah.
in that song. And just hearing somebody sing about, all these things that maybe they liked doing at one time, and now it's just becoming like this burdensome thing.
Yeah.
And they're having to dig themselves out of the snow every morning.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, this is such a depressing, cold song.
Loneliness is nothing compared to being in a dying relationship.
Oh, yeah. Well,
sure.
it's Willie Nelson saying there's worse things than being alone.
Yep. Dar Williams can testify to that.
And that song, she sure can. That's a depressing-ass song. It's good, but...
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that kind of reminds me of Skating Away, the Joni Mitchell song.
Oh, River?
River.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody loves that song, and I've never liked that song.
That's not my favorite Joni Mitchell record, but her voice is amazing on it.
Oh, well, her voice is good, but it's just like... That's one of those songs that all these people, they keep covering it, and everybody loves it, and a lot of people put it as a Christmas song. It's like... Man,
I'm not even that crazy about Joni Mitchell. I think
there's another song on that album that's also that's also about winter. I think it's Little Green, when she's talking about crocuses coming up through the snow. And
oh yeah,
it's a nice song. Anyway,
yeah, no, I like Joni Mitchell a lot, but I've never had the love for that. When I do, that reminds me of winter, and it was used in the movie McCabe and Mrs. Miller, which has got snow all the way through. It's great. Mm-hmm. But Winter Lady by Leonard Cohen.
Okay.
And it's it starts with traveling lady, stay a while until the night is over. I'm just a station on your way. I know I'm not your lover.
Oh. Okay.
And it's a little cold there, but it's just but it's really sweet.
Kill some time.
But, considering that's a movie about people who open a whorehouse, it's an appropriate song.
Not the darkest of the dark songs, I guess.
No, it's actually kind of sweet, but it's
transactional.
But it's really pretty, and I mean the way he plays guitar, and of course, he hardly ever had any big instrumentation on anything. Later, he was using a lot of electronic stuff. But those first couple albums, and that's on his first album, it's just pretty much all just acoustic guitar, finger picked. I think it was all finger picked, but really pretty stuff.
Okay. I was thinking of, this one is not, I don't think, well, there's no way we can know if this is about winter or not, but I got it in the wintertime, and it sounds like winter. It's very cold, and it's Sigur Ros's, I think, 5th album, and the title of it is Two Parentheses.
Right.
And the packaging of it, it's got multiple layers of opaque, clear white paper that have die-cut patterns in them, and it cool. And I think I saw a video from this album, and it was in the snow, but it's just glacial the way it moves. And Jonesy or Yancey or whatever his name is, the singer. I don't know, that album is just wintertime for me.
Yeah,
it's a great record.
Sounds good. So there's an old Gaelic poem.
Wait a minute. Hang on a minute.
What?
This is something that isn't...
Is that like a 17th century poem?
This is Wayne's territory.
This is something older than 10 years?
No. Well, yeah, it's older than 10 years, but it's our lifetime. But it's I'm Stretched on Your Grave. And both Sinead O'Connor and Dead Can Dance have done it. Sinead O'Connor did it as a cappella, or at least I remember it as an a cappella song. She may have done an instrumental-backed one, too. And then Dead Can Dance did it, and it was Brendan Perry, the guy in the group, who sang it. And he's got a very kind of a theatrical voice. And it's just literally about being stretched out on the grave of someone that you loved who's dead, and you're going to stay there forever. So,
ooh,
I mean, yeah, this is back to the 10 out of 10 depressing scale. But as you can imagine, Sinead O'Connor, I actually like the Dead Can Dance version better than Sinead O'Connor's, but they both, she gets a triple with it, and Dead Can Dance gets a homer with it, something like that. For all of our baseball fans out there. And I got to throw out, just because The Smiths, How Soon Is Now, that's like the quintessential depressing song, and it's sung from a lonely misfit who understands that no one wants to even be around him, but he needs love like anyone else. And it's got the reverb, and it's got the searing kind of guitar.
Yeah,
and
that guitar is what won me over to the Smiths.
Same here.
So it's really the only way I can tolerate the Smiths is because of the guitar.
Yeah, I can't. There, a little Morrissey goes a long way, but he fits in just fine with that.
Well, the cool thing about that song is it's so long until you actually get to the vocals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have that guitar with that reverb going, that kind of sound.
And I mean, I like in that one, Morrissey's kind of taking the blame for being a weirdo, and he's like, you shut your mouth. How can you say I go about things the wrong way? I'm human and I need to be loved just like anybody else does. It's like, wow, that's kind of very self-aware from Morrississey.
Yeah, kind of vulnerable.
And I like the pun on the first line where he says, I am the sun and the air of a shyness that is terminally painful, I think.
Yes. Anyway.
But you think he's talking about the sun and the air, but he's
you don't know if he's talking about
the air, H-E-I-R.
Yeah.
It's punny.
Yeah, very punny.
How about Josh Rouse's 2002 album, Under the Cold Blue Stars? You remember Josh Rouse?
I remember Josh Rouse. I remember he was always a good interview, and I liked his music, but I can't remember that song or that album.
That's the album. It's Under the Cold Blue Stars. It reminds me of stargazing because the best stargazing is in the wintertime. There's no leaves and the sky is just clear as it can be. It's cold, but you can see the stars so much better.
Yeah.
And so that's just...
Yeah, I guess it's with the less humidity in the air or whatever that everything's clearer.
You got to bundle up, but...
Yeah. Yeah, the stars are always brightest in the winter, but dang, I don't want to be out there.
Well, see, I found a way. I have an inflatable hot tub. So in the middle of the winter, when there's a meteor shower, I go and I sit in my hot tub and watch the meteor shower.
I just scroll
hot
through
tub in the
Instagram
wintertime is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I had a big fantasy to have a glass of wine in the middle of a snowstorm in my hot tub, and a couple of years ago I got to do that.
Yeah.
Yep. It's always like running out to the hot tub, like
It's like,
and then you get
I've got
in
a
and you're like,
neighbor-
oh yeah, this is the right thing to do.
but then
I've
you
got
get
a next door neighbor on one side of me, and it's the first time I saw him, I thought, why is he running naked in underwear, through the yard in the middle? It's like, oh, he's got a hot tub in there now because he had said something about getting a.
Yeah. Well, that's the bad thing is you got to put the cover back
Get out
on them
there. Yeah.
after you get out.
Yeah.
So you got to keep that heat coming off your body for long enough to get the thing snapped down so that it won't be freezing. That's the way it holds the heat in.
Welcome to this edition of How We Hot Tub It.
That's right.
Ah,
I don't have songs about hot tub. Well, my friend Pete and I wrote a song about Christmas in my hot tub. So that's how, that's perfect Christmas Eve anyway.
okay. Is that a X-rated song or something?
No.
Okay. Well, then I'm not interested.
Well, I mean, he did put in the chorus about now I've got parboiled nuts, but
Okay. All right, let's drop that. Let's move on.
For the last several years, my wife and I have been fortunate enough to get through the depth of winter by going to Jamaica. We found a place there that we love, and the people that work there are fantastic, and they welcome us back. And so I end up listening to a lot of reggae music in the wintertime. Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite reggae albums is Bunny Wailer, Blackheart Man, from 1976. And people think of, Bunny Wailer was one of the Wailers with Bob Marley and Peter Tosh. And Bob Marley, of course, he became a huge international superstar. Peter Tosh was the more angry and confrontational of the three of them. Bunny Wailer is just sweet. And he's much more sort of spiritual and Rastafarian and has got a real sweet voice. And Blackheart Man is amazing. It's a great record. And there's one in there called Battering Down Sentence. Oh, life. I'll remember it. Anyway, it's a great record, Blackheart Man, and it's from 1976.
All right.
Bunny Wailer.
I meant to mention when I talked about Nick Drake, you all may not realize the Dream Academy, Life in a Northern Town, that was inspired by Nick Drake.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that one, and even though it's, again, not directly about winter, they talk about life and they're talking about being an industrial town in the UK, and it's kind of a dying town. And it's just kind of gloomy, and it's got a real lovely chorus and all. So,
but it does sound like cold weather music.
Yeah, definitely cold weather music. And what do you think about? We've never talked about Dan Fogelberg and Same Old Lang Syne.
I actually like that song.
Thank you. It's like I thought this is probably a song that it just got overplayed and people just don't like it.
I think
I just listened to it again, and it's like it's a nice story, and it's not pretentious or anything like that.
That's the thing I like about it. I like it's just like a chance meeting.
Yeah.
With
A chance meeting with his ex at a grocery store.
Yeah.
And then they stumble to have a conversation, and they decide they want to keep talking even though it's all awkward, and they get a 6-pack and they drink it in her car, and it's just awkward, and they run out of things to say. And then when she's leaving, he says, "Just for a minute, I felt that old familiar pain. I was back again and felt that old familiar pain."
And the snow turned into rain.
And the snow turned into rain. I know people play it a lot around Christmas and New Year's, but it's really a winter song. You know, it's just...
I was never a big Dan Fogelberg fan. I mean, he was really big when I was in high school. People loved him.
Yeah.
And I thought he was okay.
I just felt like he was for someone else. And I mean, maybe before my time. And I heard that song. And
my mom liked him.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he was very...
I felt like that was just for John's mom, really, and not for me to enjoy.
Well, he had a real middle of the road, non-offensive, and it was...
Yeah.
And he was likable. But I actually think Another Old Lang Syne it has the hallmarks of the songs that I really, really like.
Yeah.
In that I've never heard anybody write quite about that subject.
Right. It touches a nerve. I mean, it's like...
Kind of similar to Still Crazy After All These Years, though. The Paul Simon song. I
Yeah.
met my old lover on the street.
Yeah.
It's kind of a similar idea.
I guess it is similar on that one. I hadn't thought about that in comparison, but I think you're right. But I think, and it's blasphemy for me to say it, but I think Another Old Lang Syne's a better song.
No. Get that shit out of here.
Sorry. I think it is. I mean, I love Paul Simon. He's one of my all-time favorite songwriters, but I think Still Crazy is a really good song, but I think Another Old
Still
Lang
Crazy,
Syne's
what's the
better.
summary of that he's still crazy about her after all these years?
Well,
No.
that we're still crazy after all these years. It's just like I met my old lover on the street last night. What is it? I can't remember. But they went and talked about some old times and had a couple beers and still crazy after all these years.
I guess Fogelberg's a sadder song, really, because they don't quite,
Well, I think the thing about the Fogelberg song is you feel the connection.
Yeah.
I mean, in the Paul Simon song, it's kind of cool, and you can tell there's that relationship's over. But in the Fogelberg song, you can tell there's still something.
Yeah,
That they connect to. That's sad that it's gone.
well, we like the movie Past Lives and all that.
Yeah.
It's like you were you were a different person, they were a different person, you were in love, and seeing them again reminds you of who you used to be and who they used to be, and it might be awkward now.
The time has passed, and you're different
the time
people
has
now.
passed, but you go back in time and you can feel it again. So,
But even with like an old
kind of
friend,
complex.
like an old friend from high school that you run into that you're really close to.
Yeah,
there's a big part of that.
yeah.
Who wins the Dan Fogelberg Paul Simon cage match?
Oh, Paul Simon by far. Paul Simon has like 1,000 just incredibly great songs.
Oh, you're talking about. I was talking about
physical
I
fighting.
was thinking of
physical
physical fighting.
Well,
I'm putting my money on Fogelberg for.
Well, Dan
literal
Fogelberg's
fight.
dead now, but when he
Well,
was young, when he was
I'm
alive,
assuming we're going back to when they did this stuff.
when he was alive, I think he could have taken
Simon
Paul.
throwing punches either at this point.
No, no, and he apparently can't hear very well anymore.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, but I mean,
Well, I got a death match. I'm going to bring up
Okay.
two women that I've been avoiding talking about because I talk about them too much, but by God, I'm talking about them today. Kate Bush and Madonna in one fell swoop. I'm going to throw them out there. Kate Bush has lots of winter songs. She's got 50 Words for Snow, and she's just got so many different winter songs and winter themed. My favorite one of hers, I'm thinking for this, is called Under Ice, and it's part of a kind of a mini musical that she has on the back of the Hounds of Love album. It's called The Ninth Wave. And in this song, she's having hallucinations. So she's playing the role of a woman who's been in a boat wreck, who's kind of going in and out of consciousness and dying, and she's freezing to death and other people are dead or whatever. And she's imagining skating, and she's skating like as fast as she can on a frozen river, and she keeps hearing this cracking, and then there's something moving under the ice, and she can't figure out what it is, and all of a sudden she realizes it's her. So it's kind of a weird song for winter and everything, but you know,
there's.
what you want for...
I'm so surprised that Kate has a weird song.
I know she did. She did have that one weird song, but you know. And then Madonna, you may not realize this, but Frozen, her song "Frozen" from 1998, it was very kind of a. She was using her formal Evita voice, you know, after she learned how to sing with more theater in her mouth and all that. It's kind of a chilly song, and it's about, you know, you're frozen when your heart's not open, blah, blah, blah. But that song was actually inspired by the movie The Sheltering Sky from 1990, the Bertolucci with John Malkovich and Deborah Winger. So I thought that was interesting that she used a film to... But anyway, it's about just love and cold. And I'm going to go back to less familiar people, but I just thought I want to indulge myself in both those gals.
Well, since we're talking about favorites...
Oh, maybe not that lesson.
And I probably should have said this one back when we were just a minute ago when we were talking about relationship songs. Snow, written by Randy Newman, and he never recorded it. It was back when he was just a house writer for, I think, Metric Music was what he was writing for. But he wrote for all sorts of other people, and Harper's Bazaar recorded it. And then when Harry Nilsson...
Harper's Bazaar,
they were a sunshine pop group. I talked about them back then.
I thought they were a magazine.
Well, it was. That's the joke. It's a play on... Harper's Bazaar was like a...
You can't just throw out the name of a popular magazine and think I'm going to know it was a band.
Well, Harper's Bazaar was spelled like bizarre, like a function.
Like crazy.
You know.
Okay. Oh, okay.
You know, like a party.
Yeah.
Or something.
That wasn't Ted Templeman's band.
That's Ted Templeman's band. But Harper's Bazaar spelled bizarre like strange.
Okay.
But they recorded it first, and then when Harry Nilsson recorded an entire album of Randy Newman songs called Nilsson Sings Newman, he recorded it, and I think it was only on... I think it came out as a bonus track years later. I don't think it was on the original album. I can't remember now. But it's this great song about... You know, snow covers the field we used to know, and he's just talking about how different things were in the summer when he was in the relationship with this woman, and now he's looking at that field where they used to go, and it's covered in snow, and their relationship has gone cold. And
it's a good thing because you couldn't make out on that field right now with the snow.
Well, it would be a kink for somebody, I'm sure.
Kink for somebody. But, that's true. There's always someone who will do whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't think it could go very long in the snow like that, but I couldn't.
Maybe
anyway.
Longer. I don't know.
Maybe if you were a snow furry.
Yeah,
you brought up a whole nother subject, John.
Speaking of snow, though,
I got a song about snow furries.
No, but it's a song from one of my Desert Island albums, which was 1982 English Settlement by XTC, and the song on there is called "Snowman," and the lyric is, "It isn't even winter, but I'm shivering. I'm shivering. I'm waiting for the love that's not delivering, and what I want to know, man, is why she treats me like a snowman." It's just great wordplay.
Yeah.
And it's got sleigh bells in it.
Oh, cool. I love sleigh bells.
I do too.
You know,
more sleigh bells.
I think we talked about I don't know if we talked about it when we did the Christmas show or not back a year ago, but there was a fella who just added sleigh bells to songs. They just played songs and added sleigh bells just to make them Christmas. So he did a whole album.
That would work.
It did. He did a whole album of Green Day songs, and they all sound like Christmas songs because he put sleigh bells on them. It was all instrumental, but all those tunes, it was all that sleigh bell stuff. It just sounds like Christmas songs.
Well, the Stooges made great use of sleigh bells, and I Want to Be Your Dog.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, whenever I record sleigh bells in here, I write it in the journal as SLAY bells because they slay.
That's because you're recording metal bands.
How about Frank Zappa, Don't Eat the Yellow Snow from Apostrophe?
The entire Apostrophe album is a very wintry album.
Does that have Nanook of the North?
Nanook rubs it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Watch out where the Huskies go when don't you eat that yellow snow.
Okay.
Typical Zappa scatological humor.
Yeah. But yes, it has Nanook rubs it on it. And then that album ends with Montana, which even though that's not really wintry, But
I bet winter in Montana is pretty harsh.
Yeah,
I'm sure
pretty
it is.
wintry, as wintry as it comes.
yeah, well, he's going to move to Montana and raise me a crop of dental floss.
Okay, I got Prince, Sometimes It Snows in April. You were talking
Yeah.
about snowing in April.
Oh.
That's a really great song. It's from Under the Cherry Tree soundtrack, which people just
Cherry
remember.
Moon.
Cherry Moon, right, Cherry Tree.
It ought to be cherry tree.
I was thinking of cherry trees because they bloom in the spring and
They do.
how awesome they are. But anyway, that's from '86. It's really the saddest song I can really think of for Prince. I mean, it's really very emotional, mourning someone who's died. And as long as we're getting down there with Jane Seabury, you remember The Vigil. Mm-hmm. This song is told from the point of view of a woman, bedside. I think it was her mother, and she's just talking to her mother who's dying, and she's. It's kind of like there's so much sweetness in it and everything, and she's just basically leading her mother to the other side, and saying that she'll meet her, someday, and it's just I can't listen to it anymore, honestly.
It's rough. Well, it's funny because Brick by the Ben Folds Five it's about taking your Christmas presents back and returning them to get the money to pay for an abortion.
Oh.
Which, I think it's probably the only abortion hit that we've ever had. But that song it's so cold and sad, and it's really pretty.
Yeah.
But, man, you talk about a sad song, because it's like the relationship's obviously breaking up, and, they have to tell the family what's going on at some point.
Yeah.
And it was a hit.
Or not. That's even worse when you don't tell anybody.
Yeah, but
Talk
that
about
was
an emptiness.
But that was the thing. It was like the whole first part of the song. It sounds like it's all secretive and everything, and they've done it. And then it's like, man, but it's a sad, sad song. And it's definitely winter because they've had to take their Christmas presents back and get the money.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure.
Go ahead.
This one's not about winter, but it just sounds wintry to me. And I think when I first heard it was winter. Was Brian Eno, 1983, Apollo Atmospheres and Soundtracks, where he took the NASA footage of the moon landings and put music to it, because he always felt like it was always done in this really newsy, like, hey, now they're coming down to the thing.
Right.
And he said it just didn't convey the amazing magnitude of being floating around in space.
Right.
And it's got Daniel Lanois on there playing pedal steel slide guitar, and it's just like syrup on your brain. It just is like soothing, and it's almost like I don't know. It's really good. Apollo Atmospheres and Soundtracks from 1983, Brian Eno.
Well, since you mentioned Prince, I want to throw out the Replacements.
Okay.
Who are also from Minneapolis.
Okay.
Which is also very cold.
And they have a song. Go ahead.
No, I just said very cold.
Yeah. They have a song called Skyway. And in Minneapolis, they built skyways so you could go across the street without having to get into the sub-zero temperatures that they have up there.
Yeah.
And it's a love song about, meeting on the Skyway.
Yeah.
And hanging out and maybe making out. But it's
In the Skyway?
In the Skyway.
Well, okay.
Well, it's a sidewalk that's covered.
Yeah.
And,
I know.
And
there was
heated.
one that's just up the mile for me on the beach. It was more to protect you from hurricanes, though, than snow. But yeah.
But it's a really sweet song. The Replacements, you think about the Replacements being loud and aggressive, and, just really rock and roll. But Paul Westerberg could write some just amazing love songs. And that's one that's just really sweet. And cold.
All right. Well, as long as we're doing songs where a band's sounding a little different than they normally do, Hoarfrost by Sonic Youth. That was the guitarist, Lee Ronaldo. He normally you think of Kim Gordon or Thurston Moore as the lead singer, but and of course Hoarfrost is the water vapor in winter, so it's very wintry in there. I'm not sure what it's about. It seems kind of ominous and it's very kind of stark. But
I never know what their songs are about.
That's true. Well, you just go with it.
It's all about the sound for me.
Well, there was some couple in the snow that they were watching in the distance, and it was kind of a stripped down sound. I don't think you hear the other two at all singing. And so,
I don't remember that they don't, but
What album is that from? Do you know?
It was '98, so it's a more recent album, but I can't think.
Okay. Well, you mentioned this before, Wayne.
What?
As I don't know what it was for, but the Valley Winter Song by Fountains of Wayne from Welcome Interstate Managers 2002, which is just a fantastic record. There's one
Start to finish.
one great song to another, and man, COVID.
Yeah.
Took Adam Schlesinger, just took him down.
There's a handful of perfect albums, and that album is a perfect album.
Yeah, it's great.
But yeah, I love that song too. And yeah, it's great.
And then another one is like an antidote to the depth of winter, and that's the Beach Boys' The Warmth of the Sun.
Yeah.
Which is just, the harmonies in that are just so warm, it just almost warms you up just by listening to it.
Just the title alone.
Well, while we're talking about strict winter,
Yeah.
the winter song from Crash Test Dummies, the whole album, The Ghosts That Haunt Me, is it sounds like a winter album.
Yeah.
But with that song, it's great because he's talking about.
Go ahead. Canadian bands always seem to sound more like winter.
Well,
I've noticed that a lot of it. I know. I guess they just have more.
They
of it.
have more
Canadian
winter,
singers
yeah.
and Canadian bands. Like, why am I coming across so many Canadians? Like, oh yeah, it's a lot worse for them.
Well, he's talking about the lake freezing over and
Yeah.
crossing the lake and all this
Yeah.
other stuff. And you've got all these. I don't like winter, but I like hearing people talk about the visuals of
Yeah.
winter. I mean, you get great sunsets in the winter. That's the one thing you get, are terrific sunsets.
At 2 PM.
Yeah, 2 PM, you get a great sunset. But, it's just, I like, a lot of these winter songs are about thinking about starting over and, the next year coming and the warmth happening.
Yeah.
And, and it's also about being contemplative, because I think that's what you do a lot. That's why people get so depressed. They start thinking too much.
Yeah. Just sleep, people. Just sleep and watch funny movies. You'll get through it.
Yeah.
Stop thinking.
There's times that it's nice to have a gray, kind of snowy day, and as long as you don't have to go anywhere.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I got kind of a double whammy from Annie Lennox. One is a solo song called Cold, which is about a relationship that just leaves her feeling frigid because it's dead, and it's like and she even says, dying is easy, it's living that scares me to death. And then with the group Eurythmics, they had the song called You Have Placed a Chill in My Heart, and that's about, again, being in a bad relationship, and then she hits a turning point in it, and she has this kind of meltdown in the middle of the song, which is really cool because you can feel the release and everything, because she's like hitting back at a gaslighter and just saying, don't cut me down when I'm talking to you. And I don't know, it has just a real good moment in it. And I also want to mention Winter by Tori Amos. I don't know if you remember this song from '92. It's about her father. And it's a very bittersweet song, and she's talking about she's a little girl learning from her dad, and he's trying to teach her to take care of herself and to love herself and all this stuff. And she has this great line where he goes, she's speaking as her dad, when you gonna love me as much as I do? When you gonna love you as much as I do? The dad's saying, when are you gonna love yourself as much as I love you? And I just botched it totally, but Tori Amos doesn't on that song.
Well, that's a sweet sentiment.
Yeah, it's a sweet sentiment, and it's bittersweet, and I think she's also missing that relationship that children have with their parents. Because once you're an adult yourself, there's a lot of changes. So, and it's one of her better orchestrated or composed songs too. Again, earlier in her career, that may be Little Earthquakes. I'm not sure. I'm not so good with my albums, as y'all know. I've got some here too. If y'all want to say some, for some reason, I hitched into like the mid '90s. There was just like a boatload of songs that I don't know if I was going. I'm trying to remember what happened to me in the mid '90s that I would remember so many grim songs. But if you want to do something else, or I can just knock them all out at once or whatever.
Well, I just bring up one song, Cold, Cold, Cold by Little Feat.
Yeah, I like that
That's
song.
a great song. It's from their 1972 album, Sailing Shoes. It's a great album. Fantastic.
Maybe their best album.
Yeah, close.
Yeah, actually, I think their live album is the best album. Waiting for Columbus.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I used to play that on the radio all the time when we would have, like, record-breaking cold weekends.
Lowell George just had the most soulful voice.
Yeah.
And I would always talk about Lowell George to my wife, and she thought I was saying Little George. so now,
Well, he was little.
so now whenever we mention Little Feet, is that the one with Little George in it?
You know how they got the name Little Feet?
No.
Little George used to play with Frank Zappa.
Well,
And Frank Zappa used to talk about how little his feet were.
Really?
About how little Frank's own feet were? Or?
No, Lowell George
okay.
had apparently very small feet.
Okay.
So Frank Zappa...
You know what they say, small feet, small shoes.
That's right. Well, all right. Well, if you want to slam through your 90s...
All right, I'm going to do my 90s-arama here.
I got some weird stuff to throw in.
Okay. I want to start with Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden. Mm-hmm. Chris Cornell wrote that song. It was about depression. And, of course, he died by suicide years later. But it just kind of made that song feel even more alarming. And the video was very disturbing. And it was just a hard song. But that was 94. Also in 94, you had Sour Times by Portishead. And that one was Nobody Loves Me Like You Do. So, but it's the woman, the lead singer, Beth Gibbons. She's singing. You remember Portishead, right?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Okay. Hope I'm not just totally lost.
There's a lot of people who love Portishead. I mean, I liked them okay, but
but it was a very subdued song and had like a little rattling in it and everything, and it was just this kind of flowing weird song. But it's when you listen to the lyrics and everything, you realize that whoever she's singing to is someone who's dead or someone who's fictional,
right?
Or, because if you just take it on the surface, it sounds like, oh, good, she's in love with somebody. It's like, no, that somebody doesn't exist or doesn't exist now. That was also 94. Also 94, Hurt by 9 Inch Nails. And I know everybody likes the Johnny Cash version, and it was great. They're very different versions, and they have very different feelings. Johnny Cash is very personal, and it just sounds like this old guy who's very old, about to... And the 9 Inch Nails song, I loved that before, Johnny Cash ever did it.
It was a great song.
Yeah, and it had more of an apocalyptic kind of the whole world view kind of feeling, But anyway, 9 Inch Nails, Hurt, 94. 95, I loved Radiohead's Fake Plastic Trees, which is just really grim and somber, and it's about being in a plastic world, and he sings about some woman, and it's and then he's singing about a man, and he's singing about himself, and then every time, the chorus is, it wears me out, or first it wears her out. So it's just like this kind of just artificial
it's about
world.
Fake things.
Yeah, it's about everything.
She looks like the real thing.
Yeah.
She tastes like the real thing.
Yeah, and then the surgeon who used to fake them or create fake. Anyway, it's just got that. I like it. It's really affecting. It's like the flip side of Creep, I guess, because it's like got so much hurt in it.
Yeah.
And then, I'm not done yet. 6 Underground by the Sneaker Pimps.
I remember that one.
Underground, take me. It was a trip hop song, but it was like, and it was early trip, mid 90s. It was perfect time to just get these vibey kind of ambient music and everything. And Kelly Ali was the lead singer of it. And again, it sounds like the Portishead song. It sounds like a song about, love and all that, but you realize when you listen to it, she's just wanting some escape. She just needs any kind of escape, even if it's risky. And it just has such a calm. The song has such a calm vibe that when you realize what she's saying, it's like she's ready to just go and rob a bank and jump off a bridge. And
wow.
So but it's real melancholy.
Huh. Well, I'll go back further.
Okay.
17th century.
17th century. No, I'm not going back that far.
Back when those Gaelic poems were written.
About 74, I think, Don McLean released. And Don McLean is the guy who did American Pie and the song Vincent, which are the two songs that everybody knows him for and nobody knows anything else. But he released an album called Homeless Brother, which was one of those things that should have been a big album and nobody bought it and was loaded with good songs. But the opening song is Winter Has Me in Its Grip. And it's about being in the middle of winter. It's winter has me in its grip. Think I'll take a summer trip to on a sunny sailing ship to where the shells lie in the sand. And it's
You did way better than that than I did with the Tori Amos song.
well, I still screwed it up. But it's like, I mean, I think that's kind of the way I feel every winter. It's like you're in the middle of the coldest, deadest part of the year, and it's like you want to go someplace out where it's warm and nice. And, I did that once in my life, in the middle of the cold season, went to Florida.
Went to Florida.
And it wasn't warm enough.
No, it's like, that's moderately warmer, yeah. Probably no freeze or snow. But.
No, it was pleasantly warm, and then there was a place with a heated pool, and we got in the pool where it was heated.
Yeah.
But that's a really good song, and he doesn't have a very good reputation as being friendly.
Okay.
But, man, he wrote some really, really good songs, and that is a great song about winter. And another one that is hopeful is Tom Waits' song, You Can Never Hold Back the Spring, which is, again, talking about being in the middle of winter, but no matter how cold and dark it feels, spring is going to come. It comes every year, and you can't stop it.
That's what I love about crocus. We're talking about flowers.
Yeah.
Those little guys, they're going to come out and they're going to bloom, and you know that the next day they're going to be frozen off, but by God, they're going to put out more blooms. They're just going to keep trying. There should be a tribute song to
They don't
crocus.
try, they do it.
They just keep doing it.
As I drive into my garage, there's a retaining wall right there, and this past January 13th, I saw the first daffodil coming up, and I took a picture of it, and I was like, oh, yes, that's hope.
Yes.
And so I started flipping through my pictures, and on January 11th, the year before, I took that exact same picture. It comes up the first 10 days of January is when the daffodils come. There's one that comes.
Daffodil.
There's one that comes up through the pavement, comes through the asphalt.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I mean, some flowers you have to spend thousands of dollars to take care of, and then something's just going to bloom right through the pavement. Yeah.
Well, I've always thought about that. So why the hell do they come out this early? And it's like they don't really need pollinated. The bulbs just,
Those are bulbs.
They separate underground.
And they've been doing this since before there were human beings. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But it does seem like, to me it seems like they keep coming up earlier than they used to.
Yeah. Well, I think
Climate
our
change.
winters aren't as,
Used to it was March, late March, when I was a little kid.
I don't remember that, but
Not crocuses, but daffodils.
Daffodils,
Crocuses always come out when
crocuses,
it's
man,
cold as hell.
they're just like, by God,
Yeah.
I'm coming. And that's what I love about spring peepers, too, is like the little frogs.
Yeah.
And they just sound, I found some songs with peepers on them, but none of them really settled for winter. But you always hear them in the winter. It's usually February. But all you need is like 2 or 3 warm-ish nights in a row, and they're out there, and they just sound like an alien ship or something has landed. I love that sound. And it's so heartening because it means spring.
Yeah.
By God, it may freeze tomorrow and 3 inches of snow or whatever. But
we're over the
hump.
hump.
We're on the road.
Yeah.
We're over the hump. Yeah.
Yeah, with Newgrass Revival has a song called Spring Peepers. Just about that.
What kind of lyrics would that have? Or
No, it's just talking about, hearing the frogs singing.
okay.
I can't remember all the lyrics on it, but it's
I mean, that's cool.
It's one of their
What'd you say,
early songs.
Newgrass
Revival.
Okay.
A couple of years back, we had a wildfire in the woods between the studio and my house, and it burned all the underbrush out. But what it did do is it exposed a whole bunch of really nice natural rock. And so we had a landscaper come in and put a little water feature in there. There's a little fountain, and in the spring peepers love that water feature.
Yeah. Cool. There's even in Turkey Creek, of all places, it's like a 3-mile stretch of commercial development, of retail development, if y'all don't know Knoxville. And it's built around a wetland, and spring peepers. You'll be out there in the middle of that. You go out to your car and like, is that spring peepers? And it is. They're just little.
You can hear it. You can hear them over the interstate.
You can hear them over. They're between the interstate and all the shopping. That little stretch. Yeah. They're just screaming away.
I love it.
We're not talking about music, are we?
Well, that's music.
It is. It is.
Well, I got one to throw out there that is Snowblind Friend, originally by Steppenwolf. My favorite version is by Hoyt Axton. But it's not about snow. It's about drugs.
Okay.
But it's one of those things that makes you, it works both ways because it feels very cold because it's singing about a friend who's addicted to either heroin or cocaine, whichever they're using it for. I mean, Snow's usually cocaine. But.
Yeah, The Weeknd, he has a song called Snow Child. And he's talking
really?
about being young, poverty kid, and using cocaine. It was came out in 2020. And they made like an anime video out of it. It's pretty cool. He's got some, dark days in his past.
Yeah.
But Snow Child is what he called himself, I guess.
Well, this is a really sad song about watching somebody die from addiction. But, it's
Happy Christmas, y'all.
it's past Christmas.
Yeah, we're middle of January here. I want to say, because I've beat him up enough, but Kanye West in 2008, he had a song called "Coldest Winter," and it was about his mother dying the year before. And it's a tremendous song. He really loved his mother. He was really impacted by her death. He's actually singing on the song. It's real. He doesn't insult anybody, and it shows that he was a great artist, and he still got that in him, but he just got more and more into just pissing people off. But "Coldest Winter" was a really good song about his mother.
Well, I mean, it's the thing about Kanye that's one of the things that's so sad is I think he really was a great artist.
Yeah.
I don't think he is now. But
Yeah,
he has been.
I don't know what's there. I don't know if he ever sits down to seriously make and people attributed to, because he kind of went through things after his mother died, and people were saying, "Oh, his mother died." His mother died, and then he just went off the rails. And I don't know if, this was 15, 17 years ago, 18 years ago now. It's like you should be moving on, but maybe this is his new normal now. I don't know.
Well, I mean, he's definitely got some mental illness.
Yeah, I don't think there's any
yeah.
doubt on that.
Yeah. But "Coldest Winter," if you want to feel good about him or appreciate him or respect him in any way, that's the one to listen to.
Well, one we haven't thrown out that I'm sure we've talked about at some point or another is the song "Hazy Shade of Winter."
Oh. Yeah.
Simon and Garfunkel, covered by the Bangles, who did a really good job on it.
Yeah, they had a bigger hit with it than Simon and Garfunkel.
I'm not even sure that Simon and Garfunkel released it as a single.
They did, and
they
it
did?
didn't make the top. Yes, they did.
Did
it
they?
didn't make the top 10. I looked it up.
Okay.
Because I thought, which song are people going to know the most? And
The Bangles, for sure.
yeah, they went to number 2 with it.
Yeah.
And then I did this weird thing because Simon and Garfunkel's came out in 68, and the Bangles came out in 87, so almost 20 years later. And I just did the chat, the AI, I guess, it just said, how many of the people who were alive in 68 are still alive now, or something like that. It said the vast majority of people who were alive in 68 are now dead. And
yes.
I thought, oh God. And I thought, well, how many people who were alive in 87 are still alive? It said the vast majority of people who are alive in 87 are still alive. I thought, that's just weird to think about. But if you think about it, 68, anybody who was like 30 or older is almost certainly gone by now.
Yeah.
So most people would have been. So.
You're really making me feel great, Chuck. Thanks
Well, no,
so
I
much.
was just thinking. I knew. I wasn't familiar with the Simon and Garfunkel until I heard the Bangles song.
Well, it was on the album Bookends, which is another perfect album. That album is start to finish. Okay. I think it's their best album.
Yeah, I just want you to know that you're talking to dead people.
I'm always talking to dead people.
Are there any in this room with us now?
I didn't want to tell you guys.
There's one in the corner up there. But anyway, I just was trying to think of what reference points people would have to the song, because obviously a lot of people younger than us didn't know about. Of course, people even younger than them don't know about either one of them doing Hazy Shade of Winter.
But
it was in that movie. I think that helped the Bangles too.
Which movie was it in?
It started with an L. It was like I can't remember.
Oh,
I'll look it up. I'll magically look it up while you're talking about something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but the thing about those artists is people kept rediscovering them over and over. Simon and Garfunkel, I mean, people that I would interview would know some Paul Simon stuff more than Simon and Garfunkel, but because they liked Paul Simon, they'd go back and listen to the Simon and Garfunkel stuff.
Yeah, and Paul Simon had the revival in the 80s.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And for a while, everybody, it seemed like, that I talked to, and when I'd say, what's the first piece of music that had a deep effect on you, would pick either Graceland or Rhythm of the Saints. Mm. And it's funny because there'd be phases, be years where it was like some album in like impacted these young artists.
That was Graceland was probably, because my mom listened to it,
Yeah.
was probably the first Paul Simon that I ever really listened to seriously. But I remember when I discovered the very first solo Paul Simon record. There's another one that's almost a perfect record.
That's great.
It's a fantastic record.
Yeah.
It was Less Than Zero. That was the movie that.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think I saw that one. That Bret Easton Ellis?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't get to see that one, but I heard good things about it.
So I don't know if you've heard this one. This is a fun. I want to do like a lighter song here, but the Cowboy Junkies, also a Canadian band.
Yep.
Do you know the song about? It's F Word. I hate the cold.
Oh, yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's on one of the later albums.
Yeah, it's like a 2012. So
Yeah.
they'd been around for a couple of decades at that point. But she's just singing about this and that. She goes, maybe I'm just getting old because F word, I hate the cold. And then it just ends with hers. I hate it. I really hate it. I effing hate it. And I thought that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I've always loved the Cowboy Junkies.
Yeah.
I
I
wrote.
think it's her brother's in the band with her. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
It's a bunch of
Timmons?
Timmonses.
Yeah, Michael Timmons is the main singer. He's the main songwriter.
Right.
And she
Margot
sings.
is the
She's the
singer.
singer.
Yeah, I wrote the bios that went out with two of their albums, two different bios.
Yeah.
It was funny because the first one I thought that they hated it. I thought the manager hated it anyway.
Oh, really?
I thought they'd never used it. And then I get a call like a few years later because I thought, well, they hated it. And then a few years later, I got a call back to do another one because it was like the bio that got them the most notice.
Wow. Wow.
But anyway, they're really nice, and I
Yeah.
like them a lot.
Yeah, I saw a live version of this. That song is Red Banded or whatever. It's like all the things that you can hear on YouTube, you know, and they're only using it as an exclamation, not even as a,
Yeah.
you know, an obscene type thing.
Right.
And that one you can't watch without signing in and everything. It's like, oh my God, the songs that I've heard that just slide right through YouTube.
Yeah, but you
But
like
not the Cowboy Junkies.
Well, I remember one of the first times I saw one of those one of the first tags they put was on a Randy Newman album, and he like has the F word in it one time,
Right.
I think.
Right.
And so they put a sticker on it, you know, with parental warnings.
PMRC.
Yeah, and it's like
Tipper Gore wasn't happy about that album.
no, and you know, there's so many teenagers were going to buy that Randy Newman album. It was like, you know,
Yeah.
All I can say is the Lords of Acid. You know?
There's backwards masking on some of that Randy Newman stuff.
oh yeah, totally. Well, I want to throw out one last thing, and
Okay.
this is an album, and it always makes me feel like winter. It's Bob Dylan's "Blonde on Blonde," and I don't know that it's I grew up, you know, looking at it, and he's wearing a coat, and he looks cold.
Got a scarf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that makes it winter. I
Maybe,
understand that.
but
Yeah.
it's got the thing that I think makes it, that cements it as a winter album to me is Sad Eyed Lady of the Lowlands, which is like a 12-minute song. When you bought the original vinyl, it took up one album side.
Wow.
But it is just one of those things. When I was a kid, I thought, how can anybody listen to 12 minutes of this? It's like the same little
It
thing
doesn't go
over and
anywhere.
over.
It just keeps.
But it's, as I've gotten older, it's one of my very favorite Bob Dylan songs. It is so beautiful, and it is so kind of meditative when you're listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the lyrics are beautiful.
When did Blonde on Blonde come out?
That would have been 66.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What were you? You weren't listening to it then. Tell me you weren't. What
I
were you,
was, my
6?
sister bought that album. I first probably heard it when I was 10.
Okay.
So 4 years after that.
Okay.
But yeah, but I remember
Just amazes me.
because I would steal her albums and listen to them, and it was like when I got to that one, it's like, good God Almighty, how long does this song go on? And it's like it's only one. It takes up the whole side of the album. But now it's one of my favorites. It's beautiful, and it has the line "Cowboy Mouth," which the band Cowboy Mouth took
Okay. Yeah.
their name from that song.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
There's a 2008 song called "Winter Song," and it's Sarah Bareilles and Ingrid Michaelson.
You know, I looked up stuff and saw that, but I've never heard that one.
Oh, it's a real pretty song. It's like just a piano. It's real stately. It kind of has the air of a holiday song, but they don't mention any holidays, so it just counts as winter to me. And it's just a tribute to their friendship, you
Right.
know. And so it's a nice, sweet, stately winter song with the two of them.
Well, and no one has mentioned George Winston, which is
The whole album.
yeah.
Winter.
Winter?
Yeah, and it definitely feels like winter. It sounds like snow falling sometimes.
I've got one last one.
Okay.
And that's Snow on the Beach by Taylor Swift and Lana Del Rey. Lana Del Rey is kind of like a backing vocalist on it. This is from 2020. What I love, it's a real dreamy song, of course. And they have, you think of them as very different artists, and they are, but they have these similar tones in their voices. And in this one, they start weaving it together. It's so clever because then I'm like, I'm not sure which one that is because both of them seem so distinct to me.
Yeah.
But in this they're almost like two sirens kind of singing. And it's talking about a relationship that's weird. They have an F word in there. Oh, it's weird, but effing beautiful. Talking about this relationship she doesn't want to be in, but maybe she does. And it's weird like snow on a beach. So, but anyway, just to hear their voices kind of intermesh and you don't know which one you're listening to, kind of cool.
Huh. Cool.
That's all I got to say about winter. What about y'all?
I think I'm done.
Thank you guys for not saying "Cold as Ice" by Foreigner.
Oh, yeah.
Because what I do is I'll like come up with songs that, just like I think, and then I'm like, well, let me make sure I don't miss an obvious one. And like everything I look for cold songs or whatever, "Cold as Ice" by Foreigner. It's like, oh my God, that's so lame. So
I don't even think about it, but that doesn't make me think about winter.
No. It's that people who don't think as well as we do. You are listening to the right podcast. We're not going to waste our time with stupid, obvious things.
Yeah, well,
not often. I might now and then. All right, let's go to recommendations.
Okay.
What you got, Wayne?
Well, I'll start off with a television show, Pluribus, which is the new show on Apple by Vince Gilligan, who did Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and Reese Sehorn from Better Call Saul is the star, and she was great in Better Call Saul. And this is a science fiction where she goes out. I don't want to give too much away, but it's aliens have somehow spread by a virus and taken over all but 12 people in the world. And it's sort of like the Borg. They all can share the same information. They all know everything that's going on everywhere they are. And they're very nice. They can't lie. They, can't be mean. And you've got the...
Is that a bad thing?
Well, that's the quandary.
Yeah.
It's like she wants to be human, and she is, and there's 11 other people who are, mm-hmm. But you're dealing with her finding out about them, and them having to deal with her. And, of course, the people whose bodies they're inhabiting, they have those memories, mm-hmm. but they're no longer there. Mm-hmm. And there was a great line with one of the characters that one of the episodes I watched. Right now it's still going on. I'm sure by the time this airs, it will have gotten to the end of the season. But this guy's mother keeps showing up and bringing him food, and you can't figure out what's going on. And she talks to him finally, and she says something about being his mother, and he goes, "You're not my mother. My mother was a bitch."
Oh. Ouch.
But it's one of those things that's so much fun to watch because you think about what you would do afterwards. And Sarah and I've had long talks. We had a long talk last Sunday morning when we watched the latest episode.
Well,
and
what would you do afterward?
What would I do?
What did you think you would do?
Well, I would be gathering way more information.
Okay.
She's not talking to. She's pissed them off or, scared them kind of.
Yeah.
So they're not really talking to her, but they can't not tell you the truth. So I would want to be finding out everything I possibly could, and they will give them anything they want. And there's one character that's like living in Las Vegas. He's got like all these good-looking women around him, and of course he's taking advantage of his situation. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the creepy thing about all that is they all have the same information. Anytime one does something, they all know it. So I don't think I could
just get used to that.
I don't know that I could. But it's an interesting thing.
You were never in a fraternity, were you?
No, and I never would have been. I wouldn't have been accepted into a fraternity if I'd wanted to be in one.
I guess not, right?
But anyway, it's a great show, and
It's Pluribus on
Pluribus
Apple TV.
on Apple. And it's so far it's been a lot of fun. It's made me think a lot, and I love shows that make me think.
All right. Well, you're going to love the one I have. Go ahead, John.
All right, I've got another one from Apple TV.
Okay.
It's called Task, and it is Mark Ruffalo plays an FBI agent, and you see him at first, and he's setting up a table at a law enforcement conference, and he's just handing out brochures about the FBI, and he's kind of fat, and his hair's long,
Yeah.
and it doesn't take you long to realize that he's a damaged soul. And,
Yeah. He's got the look for it too.
Yeah, and they've given him this soft duty because some kind of crisis has, really knocked him down, and they're trying to treat him with kid gloves because he's got to heal from you don't know what. But then the FBI starts tracking a crew of 3 guys have been hitting drug houses and stealing the money from the drug houses, and somehow they've got inside information on when the gangs are getting all the money for the drugs they're selling, because they're hitting them right on the night when they're holding the cash. And so they bring Mark Ruffalo's character in as the FBI agent in charge, and they put him in charge of three other people on the task force. And so then the story shifts to the gang of people that are robbing the drug dealers, and the leader of that guy, I don't know what his name, who he is, but the weird shift is that you really kind of don't like Mark Ruffalo. He's the good guy because he's the FBI agent, but you don't like him. He drinks way to excess. His daughter has to carry him to bed all the time, and he's just drunk off his ass. But the leader of the criminal gang has 3 kids, and he's a real devoted dad, and he's trying his best to just make the big score so that he can take them and move them somewhere. I mean, he's really sympathetic, but he's also a killer. And it's an interesting juxtaposition of the good guy and the bad guy.
Huh.
So
Sounds good.
What's the name again?
Task,
Task. And it's
as
on
in
Apple?
task force, yes. We've only watched 2 episodes as of yet, but
Okay.
it's good so far. It's a think piece.
Cool.
Well, I'm going to recommend Freakier Friday.
Oh, wow. That's
Real deep movie. Well, no, I'm just thinking middle of winter, you just want stupid comedy
Yeah.
or whatever. So Freaky Friday, of course, that was Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan.
Which I've liked it.
Yeah, and that was from 2003. Well, Freakier Friday came out last summer, so 2025. And at this point, Jamie Lee Curtis is the grandmother,
Right.
and she's an established counselor, and she's just started a podcast. And her daughter, Lindsay Lohan, Jamie Lee Curtis plays Tess, and Lindsay Lohan plays Anna. And Anna is now like a middle-aged music executive who's a former performer herself, and now Anna has a daughter, and this girl named Harper, she's a teenager. She goes surfing and all that stuff, and she doesn't like the girl in her class who's like this prissy British girl who's named Lily, played by Sophia Hammonds, and Harper's played by Julia Butters. So they're feuding. Her lab partner at school, and Lily is like a stuck-up British rich girl, into fashion and stuff like that. So you got this just kind of like just setting up the bases, to in the beginning. So it's very kind of perfunctory or whatever,
Right.
just to get it to the point where. And who is it? Vanessa Bayer plays the psychic who switches out their personalities. So this time, Lindsay Lohan switches with her daughter, and then Lily and Jamie Lee Curtis switch out. And from that point on, for about an hour, you got them. And Jamie Lee Curtis is just great the whole time. She's just like really funny. She's doing this little British girl, and
She just gets better and better.
She's amazing.
And then all 3 of the others come around, and they all have scenes. They all have great scenes and everything. Then it kind of collapses into, it's more emotional and, tries to go deeper, blah, blah, blah. But that hour that you get after the setup and before the trite roundup is actually funny. And it's a PG movie, so you can watch it with your family. It's not even PG-13. It's just PG. And it's totally a woman-dominated cast. I
Right.
mean, it's all these women. There's some guys in it that Chad Michael Murray's in it. And he was in the first one. He was Lindsay Lohan's boyfriend. So he has kind of some scenes in it. But it's about these 4 women, and Jamie Lee Curtis is funny, and the whole family can watch it. Very light entertainment, and it's generally funny and I looked it up on Rotten Tomatoes. It got a 74 with the critics, which isn't bad for that kind of movie, and a 91% with fans.
Well, that's good.
So, you know, it's not going to change the world or anything like that. It's not going to make you think too much, but it's just a delight to sit and especially watch Jamie Lee Curtis just pretend she's a teenage girl.
Yeah, well, like I said, she just keeps getting better. Every time I see her in a movie, it's like I realize, man, she's always been a great actress, but she just gets better and better.
You could watch this with Walter.
Those scenes with her and the bear are just amazing.
Oh, my God. Yeah, she is most hateful but sad, and you get all the emotions that you could possibly get in one person.
But she comes through.
Yeah.
Like, when her daughter's pregnant and about to have a baby, and she doesn't want her mom there, but then her mom turns out to be the perfect person.
Yeah, it's...
So look for Jamie Lee Curtis in anything is what we're saying.
Yeah,
exactly. She'll do a good job. All right, you got a music?
I want to recommend a brand new album by Jay Bush called Tanasi. And Jarius Bush, Jay Bush, is a... Is
it the letter J or J-A-Y?
Letter J.
Okay.
J period Bush, and he has like a $sign in Bush for the S.
All right.
But he's a local hip-hop rap artist, Knoxville-based, and this, I think, is a really important album because it is a young black man claiming his part of Appalachia.
Okay.
And this has been one of my kind of pet peeves for years is we talk about Appalachian culture, and black people had a big part of Appalachian culture.
They sure did.
And everybody thinks about, and I did an interview with him over the weekend, and as everybody thinks about hip hop, of course, is in urban settings and music that started in cities and stuff like that. But here is Jarius going out and hiking in the mountains, and he'll drop in. There was a local thing called the Heartland series that ran here for years, which a fellow called Bill Landry would go out and do stories on Appalachian culture and different places and things like that. And he drops in little lines from Bill Landry through it. He drops in quotes from a person from the Cherokee Nation in it. And it is really inspiring and sweet. And he's got great raps, and the parts where he sings are really good. I think it is a terrific album.
Where do you find it?
It should be on Spotify and everything by now.
As just Jay Bush.
Jay Bush, and
I just looked, it couldn't find it.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's. He's having we're recording this earlier, and he's having an album release show this weekend.
Oh, okay.
So it should be next week. It should be out on all the formats. And I think you probably put it on Bandcamp too, and Bandcamp is my favorite place to get things. But it's called Tanasi, and it is all about the mountains and finding yourself and, kind of claiming your part of this culture. And I was, I'm not a big hip-hop fan overall.
No.
But every now and then something will hit me, and it's like, this one did. I kept thinking, well, I'm going to like this all right, but I wound up loving it.
Good. Awesome.
This is a band, not a band. I think it's just one guy, and I just discovered it today.
Okay.
It came up on. I have a radio station, and it usually plays stuff that I've been playing, but it also throws in some new stuff every once in a while. And it's this guy. He goes by Ivy Boy, just Ivy like the plant, Ivy Boy, and it's mostly acoustic, but it's got a fair amount of electric guitars in it, but it's guitar, bass, drums. Real literate and real kind of gentle. It's not aggressive or abrasive or anything. But it's all got good beats to it and good. It's real live human beings. There's no rough edges. It's real gentle on your ears. But Ivy Boy, it was released in October of 25.
Wow. Okay.
And that's the only album he has.
Huh.
Well, I'm going to do the oldie then here.
This is a nice change.
This is a
Chuck.
nice change, yeah. We've mentioned her periodically, and again, I was thinking maybe people don't know her that well, but Laurie Anderson,
Yeah.
her debut album, 1982, Big Science. And I mentioned a couple of songs on there, and when we were doing a winter theme, first thing I thought of was the title track for Big Science, which starts with a howling wolf, and she's saying, she's got that, it's cold outside, don't forget your mittens. But this is performance art, just straight up performance art. She uses synthesizers and all.
Sorry.
But pretty minimal synthesizers compared to what electronica has become over the last 40 years or so. And she's like part stand-up comic and part just storyteller. And she sings and talks, and she takes different voices. She does and other than the electronics, I think the only instruments are like maybe bagpipes on sweaters, maybe, and violins. I think there's some violins on a couple of the songs. But
And she plays violin, too.
yeah, she does play violin.
But I think she famously had made a violin that had guitar pickups in it, and
Probably.
the bow had magnetic tape. And
Yeah, she's very kind of futuristic, but in 1982. So
Right.
if you can imagine what that would sound like. But she's a very bright woman. I love her delivery. It's very precise and a little chilly, but it's also wry. So there's like this human spirit that goes through everything. And there's one whole song about she's the captain of a plane that's going to crash, and she just never breaks her tone. And she goes, "We're going down. We're all going down." But and it's got the song Example 22 I talked about, which is just absolute chaos, and it's German and backward voices and all that. But most of the songs are very quiet. This is one of the few albums that I can really just put on and listen to all the way through.
Well, what's interesting is, that has "Oh Superman" on it, which is
Yes,
the thing
it
that
does. It's a 8-minute epic. Oh, Superman.
And it really put her across. And it's funny because when you first start listening to "Oh Superman," you think, "Oh, this is going to drive me crazy."
Yeah.
And then
because it's got that ha.
yeah, it goes.
That's
on.
the bass of it.
You're right. But by the time it's over, she totally draws you in.
Oh,
and
it's beautiful. And it just goes into the tinkling kind of bells and everything.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And in that, she plays like she's like the voice of an answering machine. But then all of a sudden, "Hi, this is your mother. Are you there? Are you coming home?" And it just, I love the world that she creates, and no one else has ever quite sounded like her.
And the thing about her, is I've interviewed her several times through the years, and you get the feeling listening to her that she's really smart,
Yeah.
and really sweet, and
Yeah.
that is exactly what she is talking to her. She is so nice and just one of those very polite, very sincere people. And she is smart as she can be, and I don't think she's ever done anything that's not good.
Right. What was the dog movie? I forgot that. It was
Heart of a Dog. I think I
Heart of a
recommended
Dog.
that
Yeah,
one
we've
time.
talked about that before.
I showed it to Sarah not too awful long ago.
Yeah, if you're a dog lover, you'll sure understand her Heart of a Dog. But anyway, that's Laurie Anderson, her debut. This is her studio debut, Big Science,
Right.
from 1982. It's a wonderful listen, and it has that kind of winter chill in it.
Yeah.
Like I say, that song, Big Science, the title track was the first thing I thought of. I thought, why haven't I even recommended this album? So there you go. And with that, we are done. And thank you for joining us. We hope we didn't bring you down too much with some of our depressing songs. We'll try not to be so depressing next time.
Send us an email.
Send us an email at howweheardit at gmail.com. And if you got any ideas or feedback, let us know. And you can find us on social media, from Facebook to Instagram to X to TikTok to something else I'm forgetting. But you'll find, YouTube, of course. And we'll be back around next time. Thank you. Stay warm.
You've been listening to How We Heard It with Chuck Campbell and Wayne Bledsoe, a podcast about music, movies, art, culture, whatever it is that's on their mind. How We Heard It was recorded at the Arbor Studio in Knoxville, Tennessee by me, John Baker. How We Heard It is a Cozy Planet production. If listening to this podcast has given you a burning sensation, then we recommend you sit in a hot tub until your symptoms fade away. If you'd like to reach out to Chuck or Wayne, or even me, you can send an email to howweheardit@gmail.com. So thank you for listening, and come on back and we'll have another episode for you next week.